Continuing from the previous episode 980. It's fine. Since this thing has now fallen into the hands of this kid, then I have a relationship with him, and in my current state, I am afraid that whoever swallows it may not be sure. It is better to be a free and easy person. The Lord of Soul Eater is suffering in his heart. After struggling for a while, he opened his mouth slightly. Do you want to know the origin of Ghostface Soul Flame? After a while, the Master of Soul Eater changed his appearance and said, looking at the strange pattern in the air. I think. Xiao Yan naturally agreed without even thinking about it. After all, Xiao Yan probably knew very little about Sheng Yan's news. Then you have to promise me a condition first. The Lord of Soul Eater sold Guanzi. What conditions? Xiao Yan asked suspiciously. If you are fortunate enough to swallow the Ghostface Soul Flame, you must go to the ghost world with me. The Master of Soul Eater said solemnly. Okay, no problem. Xiao Yan agreed, although he didn't know what the Soul Eater's purpose was, but Xiao Yan was not afraid. Ghostface Ghost Flame. Fire is cyan, with fire as the source, supplemented by absorbing ghost chi. Once a strong person displayed it, within 1,000 miles, ghost chi surrounded the ground everywhere, and the yin wind roared, causing people to retreat without a fight. In the ghost world, there are all eerie ghost chi, and when Sheng Yan was born, it was naturally extremely weak. Only by constantly swallowing and absorbing the power of heaven and earth can it slowly transform. At that time, Ghostface Soul Flame absorbed a large number of ghosts. Angry, and then there is what it looks like now. If you absorb it, I'm afraid that the ghost chi of some ordinary ghosts will be irrelevant to you, and the damage caused by the opposite side will probably drop a lot. The Lord of Soul Eater said, this holy flame actually has such an effect. But will the ghost energy in the holy flame affect my devouring? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask. This question is what Xiao Yan is most concerned about. As we all know, in the ghost world, almost all of them are the gathering place of some lonely ghosts and wild ghosts. What they have are just souls, or 3 souls and 7 souls that are more miserable than souls. And the ghost-faced holy flame was once in the hands of a ghost fairy in the ghost world. You don't need to know the name of that ghost fairy, but what you need to know is that even if this holy flame is contaminated with ghost energy, if you want to swallow it, it's easy. Holy flame, there are 36 flowers in the entire Great Thousand World. And this great world was divided into 7 realms by your human beings, so this holy flame fell into the 7 realms. And this ghost face and soul flame is naturally in the hands of our ghost world, and it can also be regarded as a symbol of our ghost world. If you take back the ghost-faced holy flame, you might be able to enter some treasured places in the ghost world, and it will be of great help to your cultivation improvement. And you don't have to worry about your doubts. Whether the holy flame has ghost energy or demonic energy, it is a nemesis for foreign evil races, and for the absorber, there is no other obstruction, but the attributes of power are different. The Lord of Soul Eater laughed. Since that's the case, then I'm relieved. Xiao Yan said, staring at the void pattern for a while before saying, close. After a while, the Master of Soul Eater said a word, and the black energy that formed the pattern suddenly returned to the mysterious stone. You keep this stone. Maybe it can be used in the blood river. Also, the holy flame is no accident. It should be in the deepest part of the second layer of the blood river. I am afraid that this time it will be a battle between dragons and tigers. You have to be prepared. I also have to prepare. After the Soul Eater reminded Xiao Yan, he immediately disappeared into Xiao Yan's acceptance ring. Hearing this, Xiao Yan nodded slightly, then carefully put away the mysterious stone. It seems that there is still some time, so I simply take out the piece of residual picture that Xuanmu got. Xiao Yan glanced outside the house and found that the moonlight was extremely bright at this time. It was obviously the second half of the night. At this time, Xiao Yan was completely drowsy, and suddenly became interested. Looking at the material, it should be a roll of sheepskin map? I just don't know if it's a treasure. Xiao Yan just took out the remnant picture he got from Xuanmu, and immediately laughed. Open it and have a look. No one was around, Xiao Yan spoke slowly. Quote. At first, Xiao Yan didn't think much about it and opened it directly with his hands, but when Xiao Yan's hands touched the sheepskin scroll, an extremely strong repulsive force slowly resisted Xiao Yan. Soul power. Xiao Yan saw that this thing could not be opened with his hands, and immediately realized that it might be a treasure, and immediately mobilized his soul power to leave. But this time, no matter how powerful Xiao Yan's soul was, the sheepskin scroll didn't react at all. Damn it. Xiao Yan couldn't help but shake the corner of his mouth as he watched the sheepskin scroll indifferent as he approached the fighting spirit level soul power. Could it be that it was the record of Sheng Yan? The next moment, Xiao Yan was overjoyed. I only found a holy flame now, so there won't be another one in this residual picture, right? With the attitude of giving it a try, Xiao Yan directly urged the fire heart Tianyan in his body to go towards the sheepskin scroll. Boom boom boom! The dazzling khaki holy flame wrapped the sheepskin scroll in a short while, and the raging fire continued to burn, as if it would be turned into ashes in the next moment. But Xiao Yan found that no matter how much he increased the power of the holy flame, the sheepskin scroll would remain motionless. It seems that I have really met a treasure. Xiao Yan looked at the sheepskin scroll and was at a loss. He wanted to wait until later, but suddenly, another residual picture appeared in Xiao Yan's body. Isn't this the remnant picture obtained in the Yu family ruins? I remember that my uncle, the Golden Dragon King, said that this remnant picture needs holy flame to open. How could I forget it? Xiao Yan watched another scroll appear, then patted his forehead and said. At this time, in front of Xiao Yan, 2 scrolls slowly appeared. As for Xiao Yan, he watched quietly. It seemed that these 2 scrolls were undergoing wonderful changes. Weng Om! With the appearance of the second scroll, a mysterious rune the size of a slap suddenly burst out of Xiao Yan's body, and then directly poured into the second scroll while Xiao Yan was stunned. And with the appearance of the mysterious rune, Xiao Yan discovered that these 2 scrolls were actually merged into one. The core inscription of God's natal life? This thing was only a quarter back then. Xiao Yan couldn't help but be surprised when he watched the core inscriptions of Shendong's natal life pour into the scroll in front of him and merge the 2 scrolls. Wang buzzing. After a while, the 2 scrolls suddenly lost all light and then dimmed. At this time, a more splendid core inscription of the divine natal life slowly hovered in the air. 2/4 of the way? Xiao Yan immediately concentrated, feeling the strength of the core of the divine movement, and couldn't help but be surprised. Then, after carefully sensing the inside of the body, the core inscription turned out to be able to condense as many as 9,000, and on top of the core inscription of the divine movement, there are also some extremely mysterious and obscure ancient lines. What does 9,000 paths mean? It means that Xiao Yan is already on an equal footing with the 9-star Do Emperor powerhouse just by virtue of his status as a Do formation master. You must know that Zhu Jingxuan, the first battle formation master in the 3 days, has only condensed 11,000 ways. It seems that the Blood River is interesting now. Xiao Yan slowly put away the core inscription of Shendong's life and said with a smile. Although Xiao Yan didn't know what was going on, the 2-volume fragmentary picture just now made the core inscription of the divine movement, which was only a quarter of the original incomplete, complete to 2/4. In addition to the soul power, I am afraid that the current Xiao Yan can really kill the 8-star Do D powerhouse. Continuing from the previous episode 981. Just when Xiao Yan was excited, other places in Shuihe town also had other sleepless people. Elder Yi, Tianxing, the residents of the Xuanling royal family, said with a guilty face. Tianxing, you weren't so quick and utilitarian in the past. Yi Mo said calmly, sitting on the first place, sipping a sip of tea in his hand. It's all my fault that my subordinate was confused by that little asterisk Mu Yingying, and Yin almost made a big mistake. Tianxing also knew that Yi Mo was not easy to provoke, and immediately showed weakness. Yan Kai and Mu Yingying are both Saint Flame converted to human beings. Even if they kill any of them, they can obtain Saint Flame, but this is Shuihe town, not Shuihejian, do you understand? Yi Mo put it down, tea in hand, glaring at Tianxing. Although this Tianxing is not cautious enough to do things, but his talent is good, otherwise he would not be called one of the 4 heavens. This subordinate understands. Tianxing is so clever, he naturally understands what Yi Mo said. Yi Mo's words should be that this is Shuihe town. If you do it here, you will undoubtedly fall the handle and wait until you enter the Blood River. If you can kill one of them, then for Shengen, naturally will be in your own hands. Elder Yi, will Yan Kai also go? Tianxing seemed to have no idea what Yi Mo said just now and asked. Of course it will. Yanqi has been imprisoned by the Xuanling Emperor for so many years, and his body has become hidden. If it is better to cure it this time, I am afraid that it will stop for a lifetime. Yi Mo smiled. Hey, since that's the case, then these two holy flames are probably in our bag. Tianxing said with a gloomy smile. This time King Xuanling gave a death order, and none of the people in the burning incense pavilion will be spared. Especially the 7 in the heavenly palace and that Xiaoyan's kid. Do a good job in the aftermath. The last time I dealt with Yin Tong did a good job. Yi Mo said, my subordinates take orders. After Tianxing finished speaking, he watched Yi Mo slowly leave. 3 brothers, who can get this holy flame in the end? I'm afraid it depends on their own abilities. Tianxing finished speaking, and smiled maliciously. As for the other super sects in Blood River Town, they slept extremely smoothly, waiting for the sect competition to be fully opened tomorrow. Shuihe Town is located on the edge of the Xuanling continent. As for the Shuihejian, it is connected to the Shuihe continent of the Ghost Realm while being close to the Shuihe Town of the Xuanling continent. The Shuihejian is just in the middle. On the Blood River continent. How's it going? On the top of a hill, there were gloomy and eerie tombstones everywhere, and a man with fierce eyes said, behind the man, there seemed to be an extremely eerie shadow. Lord Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal. I don't know what happened. After the Dark Knight Ghost was connected to the Xuanling continent by the Xuanling Emperor, the Xuanling Emperor suddenly died suddenly, and the Dark Knight Ghost was also chased by the Xuanxin Super Sect powerhouse, and has now escaped back, but because of this greatly damaged. As for the matter of attacking Zan Santian, it was rejected by him. The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor said respectfully, oh. This Dark Knight Ghost Immortal has always had a soft spot for Xuanxin. Why did he suddenly give up? I'm afraid there are some secrets in this. Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal heard the words, her body was slightly straight, and her toes stood on a tombstone, thinking. Master Wei, according to the information obtained by the subordinate, it seems to be related to the sudden death of Emperor Xuanling. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal has a good relationship with Solomon and Zan Lingguang during the Xuanxin 3 days. Many times, Dark Knight Ghost Immortal is behind him. The sudden death of Emperor Xuanling seems to be related to the interior of the Emperor Xuanling, but no information has been obtained from his subordinates. Moreover, Solomon and the Xuanling royal family have always had a good relationship because of the ghosts and spirits in the Dark Knight. However, the relationship between the two forces has been like water and fire recently. I'm afraid there is something wrong, the Dark Crow Ghost Emperor said slowly. It seems that this King Xuanling is not a vegetarian. I'm afraid it has changed due to the entanglement of the ghosts in the Dark Knight for so many years. Said the Tomb Digger Ghosts. Moreover, according to what my subordinates have learned, it seems that the Xuanling royal family has the taste of the Blood Demon clan. After a while, the Dark Crow Ghost Emperor spoke up. What? Blood demons? This Xuanling royal family actually colluded with foreign evil clans? Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal heard the words, and couldn't help but be slightly surprised. Whether it is the human world, the ghost world, or even the 7 worlds, the hatred of the evil races outside the realm can be learned from the world. If the Xuanling Emperor colluded with the evil races outside the domain, then everyone in the 7 worlds would be punished. Is there any conclusive evidence? Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal Zaidu said. Not at the moment, but since the sudden death of the Xuanling Emperor, almost all the powerhouses have skyrocketed in strength. The power of Qin Tianbangshan, the head of the Dragon Addiction Legion, has skyrocketed to a 1-star Do Xian, and the 9-star Do Emperor's Yi Mo has also reached at the half-immortal level. Even the Xuanling King's strength has reached a 1-star fighting immortal. The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor said, Hey, it's fun now. I didn't expect that the ancestors of the Xuanling royal family were so wise that they would be destroyed in the hands of a younger generation. Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal said. Where did Qianying Ghost Immortal say? Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal asked Zaidu. Qianying and Guishen also refused the invitation to attack together. Although they tried their best to hide, their subordinates knew that it seemed that Blood Rose had returned and brought a lot of news to Qianying Ghost Immortal, so they gave up. The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor said. Sure enough, Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal seemed to have expected it long ago said. Sir, what should we do now? The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor said. Tomorrow is the day when the Xuanxin 3-day sect competition begins. Even if the 2 ghosts don't make a move, we can't sit still. Pass my order, the 7 ghost generals and the 3 commanders will be together. This time, it's just to enter the Blood River. If we find the iron proof that the real Xuanling royal family colluded with the evil tribes outside the territory, we can blatantly attack Xuantingshan. Tomb-digging ghost immortal said, "Your lord is wise." The tomb-digger ghost immortal had just finished speaking, and the dark crow ghost emperor was relieved. The strength of the Xuanling royal family has skyrocketed, and the other two ghosts have also begun to retreat. If they attack Xuantingshan at this time, I am afraid that it is no different from sending death. But if there is iron evidence that the Xuanling royal family colluded with the evil races outside the territory, then the tomb-digger ghosts may use this evidence to crusade Zon Santian. Wouldn't it be beautiful at that time? King Xuanling, King Xuanling. Just a junior, the sinister and treacherous foreign evil clan is not something you can imagine as a junior. This time Zon Santian will usher in a real disaster. After the grave digger ghosts finished speaking, the place will be quiet by then. In the distant Xuantingshan 3 days, in a rather dilapidated ancient temple, the 3 characters of Astrology Valley hung at the entrance of the ancient temple. In the ancient temple, an old man in a Taoist robe watched as several stars flew down in the night sky. The meteor slowly opened his mouth. Samsung Lianyu, fear of human disaster. Xiao Yan, whether this time is dead or alive, it depends on your fortune. The old man's voice was full of vicissitudes. The foreshadowing is over, the sect competition begins. There will be an outbreak at the end of the month, and then it will be stable for the second time. Let's have a good new year. Say it after the new year. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 982. The night was fleeting, and with the first ray of dawn on the horizon, the atmosphere of this Blood River town suddenly rose to the extreme. Elder brother, how's your rest? In the early morning, everyone in the Fenxian pavilion also got up early. In order to meet this sect competition, it could be seen that everyone did not rest well. Thanks to your magical medicine, junior brother, the injuries of the 7 of us have already healed. Mu Tianyuan looked up and saw that it was Xiao Yan, and said slowly. Xiao Yan heard the words, nodded, and after Du and the other 6 people in the heavenly palace greeted each other, Xiao Yan went to pull Xiao Yi up again. It is strange to say that this guy Xiao Yi, although his strength is already a rank 5 9-star Do Emperor at this time, but after he hides his breath, even Yan Kai can hardly detect it. The secret is probably related to his identity as a fire elf. So this time in the sect competition, Xiao Yi will also go with Xiao Yan. Mu Yingying? She just called Xiao Yi to go to the meeting point in the backyard, and suddenly found Mu Yingying in her sight, but at this moment, there was a man behind Mu Yingying. Xiao Yan was no stranger to his breath, but his appearance was relatively unfamiliar. This is my brother. Mu Yingying originally wanted to say hello to Xiao Yan, but her brother was on the side, and then she thought of her brother's resistance to Xiao Yan. A word to avoid embarrassment. Senior Yanqi is going to? Xiao Yan naturally nodded and asked when he heard the words, without Mu Yingying saying. Xiao Yan also guessed. Maybe Yanqi wanted to use the ghost face soul flame or some power in the blood river to expel and heal himself injuries in the body. I have some dark diseases on my body, and I need to use some things in the blood river to heal. Yan Kai said, isn't the blood river a suppressing force? Is the powerhouse of 1-star fighting immortal also going? This is too unfair, isn't it? Xiao Yi on the side pouted in dissatisfaction. Obviously Xiao Yan had already told himself the news of the holy flame in the blood river, and now this old guy is going in, with Yan Qi's strength. I am afraid their chances will be slim. You think I want to go? This is also a last resort. Even if I have the strength of a 1-star Do Xian, after entering the blood river, I will be suppressed by the power within it, and my strength is at the earliest stage of the 8-star Do Emperor, and with the serious injuries in my body, I am afraid that I am not a match for the 2 of you. At that time, I can't say that I will have to use your help. Yan Kai said with some dissatisfaction. It's easy to talk about. Xiao Yi nodded secretly when she heard the words. Since everyone's strength will be suppressed to the initial stage of the 8-star Do D, it will be easier to handle. But if you think about it carefully, these old guys are reluctant to bend their bodies and go to the blood river, even if the blood river has holy flames. After all, they are all heads and faces. If they enter the blood river, they will be defeated by some juniors because of their strength. I'm afraid it will be laughable. In that case, let's go together. Xiao Yan heard the words and said something. As soon as the voice fell, the 4 of them walked towards the backyard. The 4 of them had just arrived in the backyard, and immediately saw that the 400 disciples in the Fenxiong pavilion were neatly assembled, and the leading palace masters were also watching Xiaoyi and the others in front of the team. The sect competition will begin soon. This time the sect competition is different from the past, but what you need to remember is that the senior brothers in front of you are the ones you can absolutely trust. After our consideration, now, the 7 people from the Heavenly Palace, Mu Yingying, Yan Kai, Xiao Yan, and Xiao Yi, a total of 11 people, will enter the second floor of the Blood River, under the command of the senior brother Mu Tianyuan. As for the other disciples, Qin Xin, Ling Zan, and Mu Feng are on the first floor of the Blood River. I don't want you to get a good ranking this time. The number of people who go out is the biggest achievement. Do you understand? Zhu Jin said coldly to the disciples behind him. These disciples are the mainstays of their burning incense pavilion. Understood. When the disciples heard the words, they suddenly roared out with an aura like a rainbow, and their voices overwhelmed the entire venue like an overwhelming sea. We burning incense pavilion never cause trouble, but we are never afraid of trouble. If someone provokes us, we will certainly not stand by. I hope you come back safely. Let's go, Zhu Jin said in an endless stream, and then opened his mouth. Senior brother Xiao Yan, strengthen my Yan pavilion. Senior brother Xiao Yan, strengthen my Yan pavilion. Senior brother Xiao Yan, strengthen my flame pavilion. In the backyard, a group of disciples said in a mighty manner as they looked at the man with a heavy ruler in front of him with eyes like bright moons. They know that Xiao Yan's current strength is only in the early stage of the 7-star Do Di, but this guy is a legend in the entire sect. Naturally, it is expected by hundreds of disciples. Let's go! Xiao Yan has always been a ruthless person, but facing such a huge lineup, he couldn't help but feel a sour nose, and then he didn't dare to stay here, and headed directly towards the entrance of Yuejian. Needless to say, these guys in the burning incense pavilion, Xiao Yan and the Xuanling royal family are also in a deadly situation, because the Xuanling royal family is the enemy of the Medusa family. After a while, everyone in the burning incense pavilion lifted off into the sky and headed for a certain place. At this time, other super sects or large and small forces in Blood River Town, those disciples are like locusts, filling the entire sky with darkness. Under the cover of countless disciples, in the northernmost part of Shuihei Town not far away, a dark aura slowly appeared. That breath descended from the sky, and even the contaminated land exudes an extremely terrifying disgust. Hello everyone, I am the guardian of Blood River Town. And just when everyone was attracted by the evil vibe, a voice came from nowhere. I'm afraid this is also a strong immortal warrior. Xiao Yan sullenly, just relying on the pressure of this voice made Xiao Yan immersed in the situation. This is the old man who guards the Blood River and is responsible for opening the seal, a genuine fighting immortal powerhouse. The elder brother Mu Tianyuan laughed. Have other sect forces come yet? Xiao Yi asked. Don't worry, you will meet you naturally when you get inside. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he looked at the farthest north, where is the entrance to the Blood River. Because of the spirit of the Blood River, plus the need for human powerhouses to die in battle, the 7 stars were immediately sealed by the previous generation of great powers. But with the passage of time, every once in a while, we will start it and let the disciples of the major forces enter it to cultivate. In the Blood River, good fortune and misfortune depend on each other, and everyone is safe. And as this voice fell, the black mark in the northernmost part of the Blood River town was suddenly torn out of thin air by a towering giant hand. The river of blood has opened. Those who are not strong enough to be a 7-star Do Emperor can only enter the first floor, and those whose strength is above the 7-star Do Emperor can only enter the second floor. Everyone, please, an indifferent voice sounded, indicating that the most important prosperous era of Zan Sansan had begun. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 983. Boom! As the voice of the guardian of Blood River Town fell, the sky was filled with an extremely terrifying smell of gunpowder. The strong disciples of the major sects who were present knew that once they entered the Blood River, they would become real opponents. We will enter the Blood River later. The 11 of us must be connected by breath, otherwise we will be randomly teleported away. And if we were unfortunate enough to teleport immediately, then gather outside the center on the second floor. Mu Tianyuan watched someone pouring into the river of blood, but did not leave immediately, and instructed Xiao Yan and his group. It was the first time for Xiao Yan and his group to enter, so naturally they had to give some instructions. I don't know how we can leave. Returning the same way? Xiao Yan nodded and asked immediately. In the center of the Blood River, there is a teleportation formation. Where is the final battlefield? If it is there, I am afraid it will be the last lore for us and the Xuanling royal family. Mu Tianyuan said, In the River of Blood, does it matter whether you live or die? Xiao Yan asked in Zaidu. Right, as long as you have enough strength. Although he didn't know why Xiao Yan asked, Mu Tianyuan still said. However, Mu Tianyuan still had some expectations in his heart. Although this little junior brother was only in the early stage of the 7-star Do Emperor, he seemed to have the power to fight against the Xuanling royal family, so Mu Tianyuan also had some expectations for Zhang Ji. As for Lingxuan, Qinxin, Mufeng, and you are responsible for taking your junior and junior brothers to practice in the first floor. They stayed for about the same time. When you rush to the second floor, you must also be careful. Among the Xuanling royal family, in addition to the 4 heavenly congregation, there are also many powerful disciples. Seeing that Xiao Yan and the others were silent, Mu Tianyuan said to the others around him. Master, don't worry, we will try our best to avoid conflict with the Xuanling royal family, and join you as soon as possible. Qinxin said, The Blood River is divided into the first floor and the second floor. Many precious treasures are on the second floor. Although entering the first floor is a step slower than those who enter the second floor, who makes oneself weak. And the exit is in the core area of the second floor, so whether it is the first floor or the second floor disciples, they are all rushing towards the second floor. Yep, let's go too. Mu Tianyuan glanced at the bright-eyed disciple behind him and said. After Mu Tianyuan finished speaking, he took a group of 11 people directly, turned into a meteor, and swept toward the huge vortex in the sky. Fenxiang disciple, follow me into the river of blood. Just when Mu Tianyuan and everyone disappeared, a serious look appeared on Lingxin's pretty face beside him. The hippie smiling face of the past disappeared, replaced by a dignified look. She knew that she had heavy responsibilities. It's all right, there's still us. Qinxin seemed to sense Lingxin's anxiety, and her jade hand directly held onto her fragrant shoulder and said, Let's go. With Qinxin's hand in hand, Lingzhan's tense mind immediately relaxed a little, and then as many as 400 disciples turned into meteors and swept into the vortex of space. Xiao Yan, this time it's up to you. Although the Xuanling royal family is powerful, I believe you won't let us down. At the burning incense station, Zhu Jin's eyes were also moist as he looked at the disappearing burning incense pavilion and said, The dark darkness, accompanied by a spooky and eerie aura, reverberated in this land for a long time, and in that eerie darkness, there seemed to be some masculine and pure auras they were struggling to support, as if they were holding on. What? In the endless darkness, there will occasionally be some deafening roars, but these roars have completely dissipated the mind, only the endless asterisk of murder and bloodthirsty. Not long after, in the dark darkness, the sound of breaking wind slowly sounded, and then figures appeared out of thin air. Is it the Blood River? A hoarse voice sounded slowly. This should be the second floor of the Blood River. Another voice spoke up. Xiao Yan? Xiao Yi? Where are the others? After a few minutes, the eyes of several people adjusted to the darkness here, and then a silver bell-like voice sounded. Senior Yanxi, Mu Yingying? Xiao Yan also took a closer look, and suddenly realized that there were only the 4 of them here. It seems that it was immediately teleported away by this mysterious formation. Xiao Yan said slowly, Only the 4 of us. I hope Big Brother and the others have good luck. Mu Yingying said slightly, Don't worry, the teleportation of this formation is random, so they won't encounter the Xuanling royal family so early. Now that we are separated, it's just right. Let's go to that place first. Yan Kai said, That place? Xiao Yan and Xiao Yi suddenly became puzzled when they heard the words. I was captured by the Xuanling royal family in the Blood River. It's strange to say that, the Xuanling royal family's familiarity with the Blood River is probably not as good as that of the Guardian just now. Yan Kai shook his head and said, but he wanted to continue, but his peace was broken by other things. Gula Gulu. Just as Yan Kai was speaking, in front of the 4 of them, a dark air mass attacked them directly. I'm coming. Just when Xiao Yan was about to act, Xiao Yi's voice sounded. Hoo. Xiao Yi flickered, and as many as 23 kinds of gorgeous flames appeared on her body, directly annihilating the dark air mass in an instant. The flame on this little guy is really strange. Yan Qi's eyes were sharp, and naturally he found something wrong with the flame on Xiao Yi. However, Xiao Yan is also quite helpless. The flame on Xiao Yi is indeed evolved from his own Emperor Yan, but now the nature of the Emperor Yan on Xiao Yan and the flame on Xiao Yi are different. This is what makes Xiao Yan the most incomprehensible. The fire elves are similar to our holy flames, but they are not the same kind. I don't know the specifics about the fire elves, but there should be the base camp of the fire elves in other places. I think the spirituality of the fire elves in your brother has not been fully opened. If you have time, you can take it to the fire elves. I believe with these things on it, it has a very good status among the fire elves. Yan Kai said, "Fire elves?" Hearing this, Xiao Yan felt a little dizzy. This fire elves is a rare thing in the world, and it can almost be compared with the holy flame. If there is a race for this kind of thing, is it still amazing? Be careful, there is a big guy coming. Just when Xiao Yan was confused, Xiao Yi said to the three of them softly. Hearing the words, the three of them hid their breaths secretly, and then looked up. A huge monster with a height of several dozen meters and terribly strong muscles appeared in everyone's sight. It's actually a headless ghost. It's troublesome now. Looking at the level of ghost chi on this guy, I'm afraid he has the power to fight against the perfect human 7-star Do Emperor, not to mention that this place is still full of ghost chi. Yan Qi's voice on the side became solemn. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 984. The yin wind roared furiously, the ghost energy filled the sky, and the air was filled with a sense of extreme terror. Headless Ghost Li, a ghost that is comparable to the perfection of the human 7-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yan couldn't help frowning when he heard Yan Qi's opening. If Xiao Yan wanted to deal with this headless ghost, he could only rely on the soul-devouring talisman in the past, but now, not only his soul power and spiritual power have grown larger, but his own strength and fighting skills have even grown. There are also many ways for the powerhouse of the level. I'm coming? Xiao Yi seemed to be eager to try since the breakthrough, ready to start. Don't look at me, I can't take action in the Blood River, otherwise I will disturb some big guys, those big guys, but even I can't do anything. Seemingly aware of Xiao Yan's bad eyes, Yan Kai said directly. Yingying, you and Senior Yanqi are here. I'll go meet this big guy. Xiao Yi, you stay here to guard them, just in case. Xiao Yan instructed. Xing xing xing. Xiao Yi said with a downcast when she heard the words. Hey, this is the one who just entered the Blood River. It is estimated that there will be big troubles soon. You guys are much stronger than me, so keep a low profile. And this trip is also to heal Senior Yan Qi's hidden illness. You are protecting the two of you, so I can rest assured. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Yeah. Xiao Yi immediately cheered after Xiao Yan said this. This kid is also a person with a delicate mind. Seeing Xiao Yan's arrangement, Yan Kai immediately admired Xiao Yan, but he didn't show it. Be careful, this guy is very strong. And Mu Yingying naturally cares about it. She is not as calm as Xiao Yi, nor is her brother Yan Kai so good at finding the eyes around her. She just holds Xiao Yan tightly in her hand to send him own fairy sword, and then instructed. Yes. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he stood up immediately, then let out his breath, and swaggered towards the headless ghost. Ho ho ho! Headless Julie is the product of the condensed ghost energy in the Blood River. It has no intelligence at all. In its eyes, there is only killing. And the reason why I came here just now was because I sensed the presence of human beings here, so I came here immediately. Now that Xiao Yan's breath had just appeared, the headless ghost screamed in excitement. Although Headless Ghost Li is formed by the strange ghost energy in the Blood River, if he kills enough human beings and absorbs the blood essence, he has the possibility to regenerate his intelligence. It turned out to be a beast without intelligence. Xiao Yan shook his head slightly, then stared at the Headless Ghost Li vigilantly. Xiao Yan looked around, and only then did he get a clear picture of this headless ghost. This Headless Ghost Li is all over the body, just like a human being, except that the body, limbs and even height are much larger than ordinary people. The hands, feet and limbs are complete. The only thing is that there is no head. It is composed of a layer of dark ghost energy, which does not look like an ordinary human body. After looking at the Headless Ghost Li, Xiao Yan saw that the Headless Ghost Li suddenly raised both heads, and then held it high above the headless neck, as if it was screaming in the sky, and he didn't know where it appeared. A very gloomy voice. 997. Wangchen refers to Wangchen palm. Seeing this, the headless ghost's origin was unknown and his movements were extremely strange. He didn't dare to stop. The head ghost swept away. Woo-hoo-hoo! With Xiaoyan's attack, there were bursts of wind breaking around, apparently caused by Xiaoyan's attack being too strong. And Xiaoyan used one finger and one palm to attack the headless ghost Li, but the headless ghost Li was unmoved, and his hands were still held high, ignoring Xiaoyan's attack. CC. Just when Xiaoyan was puzzled, Xiaoyan's huge attack with one palm and one finger hit the headless Julie's body without any flaws, but it didn't have the shocking explosion he imagined. But Xiaoyan's attack lightly swept across the headless ghost Li's body, and then dissipated. What's going on? Xiaoyan was speechless when he saw that his attack did not cause any scars to headless ghost Li. And just when Xiaoyan was puzzled, a three-jong dagger surrounded by ghost energy suddenly appeared in the hands of the headless ghost. Eat, eat, eat! The ghost chi dagger just appeared, and the headless ghostly figure suddenly moved. Holding the dagger in his left hand, he stepped forward and came directly in front of Xiaoyan. Directly stabbed at Xiaoyan's throat. Gulu. At that critical moment, Xiaoyan's forehead lightly tilted slightly, and then avoided the fatal blow from headless Julie. Xiaoyan was thinking about the mystery of headless ghost Li a second ago, but the next second he was shocked by the lightning-fast attack of headless ghost Li. Everything that happened just now was between lightning and flint. Xiaoyan's slight tilt of his head was even an instinctive action made by his body to deal with danger. My dear, I really underestimate you, Xiaoyan said coldly, and then he didn't dare to underestimate the enemy. He directly took off the ancient ruler of eternal fire and held it tightly in his hand. This headless ghost is so fierce. In the distance, Xiao Yi couldn't help seeing that her eldest brother was about to have an accident. Of course. This headless ghost Li is one of the best ghosts in the Blood River. I just didn't expect that we would encounter it just after we came in. But even though it is dangerous, if you kill the headless ghost Li, I am afraid that your big brother will be quite satisfied with the reward. Yan Kai smiled maliciously. Damn old man. Don't give a shit, talk quickly. Xiao Yi naturally didn't have Xiaoyan's usual respect for Yan Kai, and said directly. The headless ghost said a number just now. Yan Kai said, 997? Xiao Yi answered, good. Headless ghost Li is a ghost formed by ghost energy. Those 997 prove that this guy has devoured 997 human beings before this. After devouring the 4, it can get rid of the shackles of the headless ghost and completely turn into a ghost. And when it is completely transformed into a ghost, not only will wisdom be born, but its strength will skyrocket. But if they can kill 1,000 people before they devour them, then there is a good chance of getting something. Yan Kai said in a cryptic manner. What? Xiao Yi was also a little displeased by the old man's way of speaking in harmony. Dead blood ghost liquid. Yan Kai said slowly, but his voice was full of expectations. What? It's actually a dead blood ghost? And Xiao Yi had a displeased look just now, but she was shocked when she heard the name. End of this chapter.